Hey Julie, and to all the fans at Prog Rock Nation, I'm Rebecca Riss, and I currently reside in Avondale, Arizona, but I'm initially from New England. My earliest memory of prog rock would probably be in some long car rides with my brother. So I became appreciative of some of the music that he listened to and shared with me. You know, bands such as the Moody Blues, Yes, of course, Pink Floyd, the Alan Parsons Project. And we would listen to these songs on the way. You know, the funny thing is that I didn't even realize it was prog rock. As a matter of fact, many of the songs that I've listened to in my life, I didn't necessarily understand or know it was classified as prog rock. I just know that I liked listening to good music. And, you know, over the years, I learned that these specific bands and some of these specific classifications were considered prog rock. So that is my earliest memory. I think I was, 4, 5, or 6 years old at the time. I don't know if I've ever been to a prog rock concert per se. I think the closest thing to it would be seeing Styx in concert. I am a big Styx fan, so I think that would be the closest thing that I would have done to see any band considered prog rock in concert. Music pretty much has encompassed my entire life, so that clearly is my number one interest. But I do have other things that I do love to do, such as I'm a very adventurous person, so I love to travel. I love to dig in and see how things tick. I love those exciting thrill rides at an amusement park. I also love the beach. You know, the water is a very big thing to me. There's many other things that I love to do, but I always circle back to music for sure. Well, it's no secret that my current music project involves Ricardo Margadona and all the other musicians that we have met together, as well as some of his friends. And I had the opportunity about a year ago, after the pandemic started, to break out my old recording gear. I had done some virtual recording about 10 years ago, and, you know, life happens, so I had gravitated away from that. But this gave me an opportunity to reconnect with that and, you know, learn how to home record all over again. I must add, at least for me as a vocalist, home recording is exhausting to make sure that you have the right levels and all that stuff. I so prefer recording in a studio where somebody else has to worry about that for sure. But this is how I met Ricardo. I met Ricardo on a site called compose.com where people share files and mix things and do it all virtually. And that's how we met. And we've been doing songs together since, I would say, you know, August and September. And we've completed our first album, which has been such a thrill for me, for sure. The fact that we're continuing to go strong and continuing to improve each song as we go along and grow as a duo, it just continues to solidify for me that we're doing the right thing, that people are continuing to notice our sound. It's different, you know. Classic rock or prog rock is not dead. It's not gone away. It has such a resurgence in the music world. The fact that people are recognizing our sound and calling it unique, that we don't sound like anybody else. We just sound like Ricardo and Rebecca. Julie, I just want to give you a shout out and say, you know, thank you so much for your support and for your support of all indie rock bands, as well as all the amazing prog rock music that you play on your show, Prog Rock Nation. I have learned so much by listening to your show already and all the music knowledge that you have. So again, thank you so much for the support of the music that Ricardo and I create. We appreciate you.
Hello, Julie. This is Ricardo Margadona. I'm from Brazil. I think the first album I can remember of progressive rock is The Wall. I think I was 6 years old, more or less, and my aunt bought this album and then she put to play all the time, you know. So that's my first memory as far as I remember. The first album I recorded by myself, I bought two in the same time, about Close to the Edge in vinyl, and also Live at Pompeii by Pink Floyd in CD, one Italian limited edition. My last album purchased was Camel Mirage. Yes, this is a good one. Yes, I love Nim Rodel, you know, the Lady Fantasy and so on. You know, that they are very special for me. So finally, I got this vinyl. You know, my first progressive rock concert was, as far as I remember, was Roger Waters. It was before 2009. I don't remember exactly. I think it was 2005 or 2007. And my last progressive rock concert was in 2017. I went to see Pedro Baldanza and Som Nosso de Cada Dia. It's a Brazilian progressive rock band, very, very nice. And they played an old album from 1974, Snags, entirely. So it was freak, you know. And this guy, I was very, you know, grateful because unfortunately Pedro Baldanza died, I think 1 or 2 years later. And that was one of his last concerts on Earth. Well, outside music, it's impossible to do something outside music. But something interesting is that I love to build some raw instruments. They are known as cigar box guitars for playing blues with 4 or 3 strings. And I love to build them, you know. So that's very nice hobby, you know. Yes, I love to do this. And I do it for friends and some people that order them from me. The last book I read, it's very, very nice. It's the Gary Lee's Beautiful Book of Bass. So I love this book. I've got this book as a gift from my son, Lucas, my daughter, Alicia, and my wife, Josie. So I love this book. I read everything written there, and the pictures are awesome. So my musical project, it's all around this project with Rebecca. And we have already completed the first album, Delirium. Yes, this is very well succeed. We are continuing with amazing musicians to create new singles. So we have already raised 2, Chaos on the Edge, and now they will go on. And we are working in more 3 at the same time. So we intend to have still this year at least more 3 or 4 singles released, and then hopefully we will get a new album, a second album, to be released by some labels or independent.
And now we're going to play some of the band that you mentioned, which was the last, I think you said the last one you were at. It's Somnoso de Cada Dia, and this is Montanas.